does a newbie in the note business start out with a bang? Stay tuned. Well, welcome to this week's edition of NoteSchool TV. Yes, it is episode number 223, and we have, well, as always, and as you would expect, the most amazing guests today. And we'll bring those on and those guys on in just a minute. But before we do a little housekeeping. First, make sure and like this episode. Yep, just hit the like button and then share this with your friends, your associates, all of those that you know out there. That really helps us out when you do that. And again, make sure to like that. If you haven't already subscribed to our NoteSchool TV channel, go ahead and do that as well. And then number 3, make sure and hit that bell notification. Yep, go ahead and do it so that you will be, well, you'll be aware of when we go live. When? Every Wednesday at 11:05 Central Time. Let's see. One other thing, make sure, and if you would like to know more about what we do at NoteSchool, simply go to noteschool.com/TV. Again, noteschool.com/TV. I know many of you made your New Year's resolutions saying, hey, I've got to get involved with NoteSchool and we'd love to have you. So with that, I want to bring on NoteSchool's founder, our chief visionary officer, all-around good guy, Mr. Eddie Speed.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Another
really
beautiful
good.
Day, right?
There was a Facebook page, a kind of a private Facebook page of some seasoned real estate investors, and somebody says, "How's the first so many days of, the year been?" And I said, "Busy." Because we're not saying nothing exactly different in January. We were saying in December and last fall. But the market is reacting to it differently. And that is because we are now found ourselves in a cycle in the industry where notes are very powerful. So I'm fired up.
Yep. And
you are going to be super impressed today with our guest.
You really are. Eddie, I'm going to jump off and let you introduce our guest, and I'll see you at the end of the show.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Good.
So sometimes in my industry and in NoteSchool, I meet a brand new person that I've never known before. Sometimes I meet somebody that I've kind of known for a little while. And then I kind of re-meet somebody that I've known for years, for a long time. And all of that old relationship gets renewed, and it's just very exciting. And so our guest today, these people I've known for over 20 years. And I'm so honored to have them as a new part of NoteSchool, but also with you guys today to get to introduce this wonderful family. So we have a father and daughter team here, Mr. Johnny Horton and Amy Tabor. You guys welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Eddie. How you doing?
You? Well, it's
great.
It's a cold day here in Texas. Johnny, I know that you've been doing a little winter driving, so but at least obviously you've stopped at this point. Amy, I hope you got the fire going over there, girl.
Yeah, it is. It's going. It's keeping me warm.
So you guys live in East Texas?
That's correct. In the Longview area, Becky and I live east of Longview, and Amy lives in Longview. Amy and her family.
So, father and daughter here. I've known you guys since the early 2000s. I'm so glad to reconnect with you guys. And I think, Johnny, what reconnected us was the market conditions, right?
Yeah. It was kind of interesting. I went through your school almost 20 years ago, and actually had a little note business for a few years, and had a couple of partners. They really kind of wanted to shut the thing down, so we did, and I was busy with other things. Sort of drifted away from the note world until I got a call a few months ago from a guy out of Tulsa that had some notes he wanted to sell. And he said he had some land he wanted to sell. We have a real estate and auction company, but he said, I need to sell some notes. You know anything about that? I said, I know a little, but I got a friend that knows a whole lot. And that's when I put the two of you on the phone together. And then later you and I started talking, and I realized it was time reconnect and get back in your world.
Well, we are so glad to have you. Amy, you and your dad have a real estate brokerage.
Mhm.
And so you kind of specialize in farm and ranch, although not exclusively in that, right?
Yeah, that's right. We have a United Country franchise, and so we do a lot of land, country homes, recreational land, hunting, things like that.
Got it.
Mhm.
Well, we are so glad to have you guys. I want to ask you guys, like, what was the thing? What was the timing? What were the circumstances that caused you to join Note School?
Well, again, I got that call from a gentleman in Tulsa wanting to sell some notes. Put the two of you together, and I got to thinking about it. Why should I just give all that to Eddie? Maybe I need to relook at the note world and on where it is right now. And based on a conversation that you and I had, I said, hey, maybe I need to come back to Note School. You said you definitely need to come back, and it's a different world. After I finished Note School, I told you, 20 years ago, we went through your school. You gave us a little thin paperback book called Streetwise Seller Financing and kicked us out the door. Today, it's a whole new world, though.
Well, we've found out how we can continue to help people and make it better, obviously, and stuff.
Yeah.
Amy, just in, and you guys joined Note School in December, so you're kind of newbies, right? You're not newbies to real estate at all, but you're newbies to getting back into notes. Mm-hmm. Amy, you guys in your regular real estate business, why notes? Why now?
I just think it's a great time in the market. I mean, from having a real estate company and working as a licensed real estate agent, the last few years from COVID, we kind of call it the Wild West. The market turned into the Wild West amongst, real estate agents and buyers and sellers. And then that's now over. And so we're on the other side of that. And there's been a shift in the market and things are still moving and selling, but not at the same pace. And so it's just the state of the market with a different interest rate, buyers being a different place. Now they're able to have a little say-so about what they're getting, but they're able to negotiate with sellers a little bit, where 2-3 years ago, there was no negotiating for a buyer. And so now they can do that. But now we've got, they're dealing with interest rates that they weren't accustomed to a couple years ago. And so anyway, I think it's just a good timing in the market where there's been that shift in the traditional sales. And this opens up opportunities that we didn't have a few years ago.
So Johnny, I've known both your daughters. I've known your wife. I feel like I feel like I could be invited to Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I'm saying?
As long as you bring the turkey, you'll be invited.
So one of the things that I really got a joy of doing when you came and hung out with us at the class is really to unfold kind of our family legacy. And I knew you and Amy are sitting there knowing like this can be our family picture. And so I want to talk a little bit about your vision of legacy. Like, one thing about a smart person in real estate is it doesn't take them long to see how investing in notes can have more cash flow than a rent house and a lot less aggravation. So let's talk about legacy for a moment, Johnny.
Okay. Yeah,
what is it you see in your family of where this is going to go?
Well, obviously, from a building cash standpoint, there's tremendous opportunities there, and especially where we're sitting right now with clients they're trying to get properties sold. Market situation makes it a little tough because of some interest rate issues and et cetera, et cetera. And what we were looking for was a way to help them create financing that might help us move those properties quicker. When we came back to note school and we got an overview again of what notes really are, then I started seeing opportunities to, take care of generations of our family. And my son's going to be coming over to note school this week, and Amy's husband, Brooks, is our main auctioneer from an equipment auction standpoint. He's extremely interested in going through the virtual class, and we'll be at the live class once he gets through coaching baseball in baseball season. But yeah, I see my whole family being involved in the business again and developing some long-term wealth building that will last for generations.
That's awesome. Amy, I've been doing some form of land for 30 something years, right? Been, helping people and partnering with people, breaking up country land and using creative financing and buying the property, and clearly using creative financing and selling the property, right? And so you got to hear a little bit of my story and that process. And you and I come from some of the same bones, right? We like country land. We understand people buying it and a weekend place and retirement place and stuff. So since you came to Note School, you went back and scuffed up an old land deal, and you're working on it. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we when we were at Note School and you were sharing some of the things that you have done and that you are doing with land, it just, our wheels started turning. And I actually had a listing that I thought, there's some potential that the seller is in a situation where it was inherited property and he doesn't owe anything on it. So I knew that he was in a position to be open, to some seller financing. And then this particular tract I knew had some potential to break that up and then sell it on seller financing. So it is a deal, I wouldn't have thought of that. I knew there was potential with this particular piece of land just as the listing agent, but then seeing how that worked and how you'd been doing it, and then with all of the things falling into place, I knew that there was potential. So we're still negotiating that out, and hopefully we can get it done. But yeah, and then it opened our eyes too, and we talked about this where sometimes it's going to find a property that's not listed, not on the market. But sometimes they are out there on the market listed, just sitting there ready for anybody to just
100%
be creative and think about how to make that work.
Yeah, people are just missing it.
Yeah.
And so we got to have a lot of fun on the Deal Lab, kind of carving that up and stuff. And I love that, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like kind of to some degree, Amy, I've trained for that party a long time. And now the market conditions and circumstances are so ripe for it. So I'm very excited. I'm excited to go see you, now with a clear vision, like go scarf up some more of those deals, and we'll bring them in and kind of pencil whip them and make sure that we're getting the most juice out of the lemon, and making sure making sure that we found a deal that has the right circumstances that would work too, right?
Yeah. I've got another one I'm going to put together for a Deal Lab. It's not on land, it's residential, but I'm going to send that in. And it was the same thing, just something that I didn't consider before. And then when you think about those circumstances, you think, hey, this might be one that would work. So we'll see.
Can I comment on that, Eddie?
Yeah, please.
The thing that I like, and it brought back to my mind being back listening to you over the year, as investors, we've been involved in the real estate investing business since early 2000s. Used to wholesale a lot of deals. Did over 100 wholesale deals in Amarillo one year. So we've been around this business a long time, and everybody wants to negotiate the best deal that they can. But at the same time, with the right techniques, you can give people what they want for their property. you don't have all parties can walk away from the table with a smile on their face if you do it right. And that's one of the things that I like. There's opportunities. You don't have to try to steal properties from people. You can pay for properties and still make it work.
I think the best trait that Note School helps people with overall, Johnny, is financial modeling. Whether it's buying the whole note and selling a partial, or buying as part of the whole, buying all the payment and selling part of the payment, or whatever that looks like, right? Or as you said, carving up a land deal and giving a guy pretty much market value. I mean, Amy, you're not discounting the property. He's just waiting for part of the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has a tax hack to wait for part of the money, right? It's actually advantageous, for them to look at it in that way. So I agree with you, Johnny. It's like, there's so many things that, you just have to take the ball and look all the way around it, right? In a deal. And so it's really exciting. I want to go back to something, Johnny, that I've seen from you in a real strong way since you reconnected with us. Like, and you and I've known each other for years. We were just busy. We loved each other back then. I'd see some connection with you on Facebook or whatever, and so thrilled to see your beautiful family grow up, and now your beautiful grandkids, and Amy's a super mom, homeschool and real estate brokerage, and her and her husband are so involved in the kids' school. Just cool stuff, right? But you have really instituted this back through your real estate brokerage friends, and I mean in a really strong way. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, I love to help people. I mean, that's my whole mission in life, is to help other people. A lot of people in a real estate brokerage, their function is to list and sell property, and then bring a few agents along to hope maybe they'll sell a deal or two, and you can make a little on the side off of that, a little override. And that's not the way I run our business. I am not that I don't list and sell property, but seldom do I list a piece of property. I try to help my agents succeed. And not only within our own office, but we are an affiliate of United Country. We actually own 5 franchises, one in Longview, one in Canton, one in Gatesville, which I just came from, one in Quanah, and then can't think of the town in Oklahoma. Help me, Amy. Anyway, got one in Oklahoma. But I have friends all across the United States in the United Country industry or company, and I see an opportunity there for our almost 5,000 agents to improve their real estate businesses, but also their stead in life. And so I'm excited about the possibility of taking Note School to a bunch of people. I don't know if that answered your question there, but
Johnny, you literally, I look at it like, if the market is a stick of dynamite, nobody's been faster to try to light the fuse than you've been. You get it, and you're showing it to people, and you got a buzz going around here like crazy. And it's because that you've recognized the market, and you're dealing with savvy people, and they recognize it when you point it out to them. I spoke to a real high-end group of realtors last week, a very specialized mastermind, super realtors, I'd say, right? And I just really was repeating to them what you're repeating to these agents. It's a market condition. Here's how it works. All of us look at a market and they say, we know that the market's in for some turmoil, right? It is what it is. Johnny, all of us know, though, that you can take any market condition, and if you get on the right side of the market, you're going to crush it. You're going to do really good, even when other people aren't doing as good. I'm not saying they're all going to blow up, but I'm saying they're not thriving the way they could. And I would say that just seeing your energy and seeing your vision and seeing your communications of now your people you're bringing to us, it's exciting.
we're so excited about what we can accomplish in this deal and what this business can accomplish for so many other people. I just think there's opportunities there that we don't want to pass them by. There's a guy named A.L. Williams that did a talk over 20 years ago, back in 1987, and the title of it's "Just Do It." His name was A.L. Williams. He owned an insurance company that eventually became Primerica Financial Services. And I've watched that video so many times over the years, and anybody that's missing that is missing a tremendous message. And it's just, the message is just do it, just go do it. Eddie, you said something the other day about getting started quickly, and I said, well, I like to start things quickly. I like to blast off with things, and sometimes it's like setting off a bomb, and sometimes people need to follow me up and pick the shrapnel up behind me, but that's what we like to do, is just go do it.
Well, on Johnny, as you said, you're a veteran. So when I described the circumstances of the market and how we were filling a big void, and we were a better opportunity than probably buying rent houses today and probably investing in syndications. You and Amy got that. Like, it wasn't like I didn't need to talk you into it. I just pointed out the market variables and how I thought we filled a gap, and you totally got it.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears for a moment. And I think the audience can clearly see that you guys you're a family. You have had a history of successfully being involved in businesses together. You not only love each other, but you like each other and you respect each other, and I see that. And so you guys are making it happen. We're so thrilled. You just inspire us every day. But I want to go back a little bit. Amy, I want to go back a little bit to the why, right? It's not the how. Notes are going to be a big part of the how, but it's the why are you doing this?
Yeah, why? I mean, it's for financial reasons, obviously, but it's freedom. And it's freedom in all aspects of your life. It's freedom in your, like I say, in your finances, but it's freedom in our careers also. You touched on that we do homeschool our kids. We have 2 high school boys, and my husband also works with us in our real estate and auction company. And he's getting started in Note School with us as well. And he coaches our kids. But so then that gives us freedom in our real jobs in our business, where that kind of ebb and flows with the real estate and auction market. And then with our schedules with homeschooling and sports and church responsibilities and all the other things that we do, then it gives us the freedom to, okay, maybe we can back off somewhere else because we've got our note business going over here that doesn't necessarily take the full time, 40, 50 hours a week attention. So we have that. And then why the freedom for our family and for our kids and for the legacy that we're going to leave them, and be able to set them up. We don't know what they're going to do for college or trade or not, or where they're going to go in their adult careers. But this is an avenue too that's going to help us to set them up for whatever path they want to take, and help them to get there. And then hopefully they can learn some things too, to where they can take this on for their families, like Dad said, for future generations. And then the freedom to be able to give generously to ministries and organizations that we want to give. And maybe sometimes you see a need that you want to be able to help, but you just can't. But this is an avenue too, where we will be set up and we'll be able to give generously where we want to.
My pastor was referring to a really wealthy guy that was in our church. And this wealthy guy was, and he wasn't saying it in any kind of, he wasn't overlooking somebody. He just says, you know, I'm not going to be the rock star in the kids department, right? Or I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not going to be better than the janitor at that, right? And my pastor was telling a story about that, and he said sometimes God just puts us in a position to go make money. That can be the greatest gift we can give. And you said that, right? If you do the right things, then you can go take that wealth to a lot of good, and you can go take the time that you now have available to a lot of good. I know you have a heart for that, and I'm glad to see that your vision of that. And I know that, I think kind of seeing a little bit of our family story with Martha and I, a little bit of that is helpful, because our kids are our kids are older. They're now young adults, and none of them do it full time for a living, but they all do it as a strategy for investing. And so I'm really thrilled to see it. I'm so thrilled to see your family and your kind of vision of that. I know that's your dad's vision, but I want to share with you, Amy, that I see your vision, and that's really cool.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. The last thing I really want to circle up on is, Johnny, I want you to talk about execution. I want to kind of circle back around, because execution, otherwise it's worthless information. You agree with that? You can have all the knowledge in the world, and if you don't implement it, then it's just, you know, it's entertainment, as they say, right? So I want you to talk about your what you've done and what you plan to do in the way of execution.
Okay. Well, again, it just goes back to just do it. Everything I've ever done in my life, I get involved. If you want to be a sumo wrestler, who do you hang out with? You want to hang out with other sumo wrestlers. And if you want to be, I tell my agents all the time, if you want to be a successful real estate agent, I suggest you hang out with some really good real estate agents. I have a new vision in the note business, and I want to be good in that. So who do I want to? I want to hang out with Eddie Speed. He knows more about the note business than anybody in the world, in my opinion. So in order to get that opportunity to hang out with the people that are really good, the Ben Hawks, the Eddie Speeds, the Joe Varnadors, etc., you've got to go do some things, and you've got to be a part of the industry. And so, we came to the school. You got us back up to speed, pun intended, on a lot of things that hadn't run through my head in a long time. And Amy and I both made the decision, well, we're going to go back home and make this thing happen. So we started out by looking at the opportunities that we had existing that could use some creative financing and that sort of thing, or maybe some investors. We know a lot of people that have a lot of money, and so I just started making phone calls and saying, "Hey, I need to get with you. I got something that you should look at. May be of interest to you, it may not." But I took one of the PowerPoints that is in the getting started part of the program, and I start going out showing pizza and how you cut it up, and people see that. It's easy to see, and they get excited about it. So we're seeing a lot of opportunities to set some people up with notes and sell some parcels off. We also see opportunities in the land, in the opportunities to split some land up and make some deals work there. So again, I don't know if I'm answering your question, but if you turn me loose on a subject, I'll talk for hours and hours. So maybe you better direct me a little.
Let me say this in conclusion. First of all, you guys lead your business with integrity. You lead your business with doing the right thing by people and the right motivations and being successful, right? And
we try.
It's inspiring to see that. you're inspiring an audience today that hasn't necessarily met you yet, right? And that is, this is how you start out. And Johnny, you're a dad and a leader of your family, and now you're spread out a little bit, but clearly it took on, and now your kids and daughters and son-in-laws, they have the vision, and I know your grandkids will get it. Amy, you keep focusing on what you're focusing on, because I can tell you, as got a little more gray hair than you're doing the right thing. So I'm so honored to have you guys today. I think your story is exciting, and we are just grateful to be a part of that story. And we're honored to have you. So, Mr. Varnador, I'm going to let you come back in and close us up, sir.
Very good. Guys, that was amazing. Eddie, Martha, and we all used to say, there's the old saying out there that's, he's a go-getter. But, one of the things we used to say a lot, and we don't say it as much anymore, and Amy, you reminded me of that, it's a go-giver, right? Not only do you give, monetary means, but also giving your time really makes a whole lot of difference in a lot of people's lives. And I think what you guys have done, I remember when we were at the class there in December, Johnny, and you said, oh, we're getting involved with Note School again. And I kind of looked over at Amy and I said, yeah, I think that means, a little work for Amy, but I know she loves it, Johnny. And we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. So that is it.
We're excited.
Yes, that's for sure. All right. Well, that's going to wrap us up, folks. We'll see you guys again next week, same place, same time, where we will have our end of month January monthly update. Wow, I can't believe it's already we're wrapping up January, so we'll do that. And we'll see you same place, same time. Have a great week. Stay warm for those of you that are in the cold places. See you later.